Hello everyone. It's me, Chaffman Coffee. I'm here with another one of my Humankind tutorials. This is for the Assyrians. Oh yes, the Assyrians. I've been waiting a while to get some of these done. There's been new patches since, and I'd like to go over some of well, I'm also playing with a mod as well. You might actually notice up here there's actually 14 stars. I'm playing with the new mod that allows you to change the number of stars required to age up. Gonna see how that plays out, but for the purposes of the tutorial, I can cover pretty much everything that needs to be covered, regardless of what stars are required, so don't worry about it, okay? Right. So the Assyrians. What do the Assyrians do? Well, they're expansionist. They get extra movement speed, and they get combat strength bonuses when ransacking, which means they ransack faster. It doesn't mean that their army gets stronger, just that they ransack faster. Okay, so we've got ourselves a pretty nice position here. We've got horses. Number one thing you want to concern yourself with is getting access to horses. Very, very important. We got horses. We actually got Gunung Mulu, which is a pretty big deal. That's going to give us a lot of extra influence to work with, which is cool. But horses are your main thing you want to worry about, and you want to go straight for domestication to get your Assyrian raiders. You want to try to settle early and as fast as possible. The Assyrians are about timing. If you have good timing, you'll be fine. If you collect enough influence, you can set up a Danu before actually building your first city. I do recommend doing this. It normally costs just over 30 influence to get a Danu set up. I do recommend that because it will save you a lot of turns building if you do that, and it gives you a spot where you can build it close to your settlement if you want to have extra defenses, or you can build it by the border if you want to spit out troops faster. I recommend generally spitting it out close to the border or in a defensive location. Like here's good because units coming across this river, I have to spend a turn moving onto the Danu, and if I go to war with these guys, that's going to be in a good position to help protect us. Right. Now, generally speaking, as the Assyrians, you want to be very aggressive. You want to be ransacking people's outposts on your borders. You want to be causing everybody as much hassle and as trouble as possible. You want to push people away. You don't need to use your expansionist ability if you don't want, especially early on when you don't have that much gold. It's quite a good idea to just ransack people's stuff, because you'll ransack it pretty fast and it gives your army something to do. Same thing as ever, Potter's Workshop, and then start working on Maker's Quarters. Expert policy, I like to go science first, industry, then money. Though I will sometimes put people on industry before science in the very, very early stages of the game. We need to get domestication before we can really get any troops out, but before we get domestication, we need to have some industry so we can actually, build troops at a reasonable speed. Now, generally speaking, as warlike civs, especially in the early stages of the game, you want to focus on just conquering other people's outposts rather than building your own as much, and conquering their cities. So we're not too fussed about... we'll take a fight with a mammoth here. It's a bit of free gold, isn't it? Bit of free gold. Bit of a tricky fight there, but that's fine. There we go, 20 extra gold, very nice. And we can start ransacking this outpost as well. They might actually age up into a proper civ, and then our army's going to get atomized, but that's just one of the things you got to live with. Right, hopefully we'll get our perk soon, or our first civics. That would be really cool. Let's try hunt down some more mammoths whilst we're just chilling around. I can move up onto this high ground, and Mammoth's going to come and get itself killed. I'll take a bit of damage, that's fine. Buy out the Potter's Workshop with the extra gold that we got. We've got a tribe running around our lands still. Now, I am playing this on Humankind, as always, I tend to do that. Or tend to, I always play on Humankind. One of the main things I've noticed with the extra stars needed to age up, you can configure it to change it how you want. It actually says that you should play with 2 stars to age up in Neolithic, and this does give the player a lot more chance to pick cultures they want. I do like this, but I think the AI doesn't quite handle it very well. So if you do pick up that mod, I'll leave a link in the description for it. For those of you guys that are interested. Again, I am playing on a later patch than the previous tutorials. It hasn't changed a huge amount, but I will talk about one of the biggest changes, which is the cost to build outposts. If you don't get that initial extra influence or cost reduction for outposts from your first couple of civics, the legitimacy civic and the other one, it does require 8 population. We don't quite have 8 population right now, but that's okay. We'll get to 8 population reasonably quickly, so it's not a big concern. Right, let's just instant resolve that, no worries. Just a bunch of tribes. And we can burn that down in a couple of turns, get you guys healed up. But yeah, so not only does founding outposts cost more, attaching them doesn't. Attaching them is fine. And the building up luxury resource deposits, harbours, that sort of thing, their costs weren't scaled. So it's very important to get the first civic, and to get the first couple of civics you need 8 population. So now more than ever, it's important to age up out of Neolithic with 8 population, so you can get those initial civics. The legitimacy one gives you influence on your main admin center, and then or your main city center, and then the other one gives the 50% off outpost cost to create. Now, I will do a video about this. I'll probably redo another video about the Neolithic tutorial. I'll probably outdate the previous one and make a new one. But I recommend setting up 2 outposts in Neolithic. Very recommended to set up 2 outposts in Neolithic, because the first outpost only costs 5, and I have talked about this in my Neolithic tutorial, which you can find in this playlist. First outpost costs 5 and the second one costs 20, and ideally you want to get 2 outposts set up far apart, and you want to come out of Neolithic with about 160 influence after setting those outposts up, so you can get both of them turned into cities. Now, with the changes to outpost creation cost, you always want to have 2 outposts, even if you're not going to have the influence to build 2 cities up. You always want to come out of Neolithic with 2 outposts, because the first one costs 5 and the second one costs 20. And even with the civic that reduces the cost of outposts by 50%, that is cheaper to build that second outpost in Neolithic than to build one with that civic active. It costs about 34-ish to build an outpost with that civic active if it's your second, like your city and then your second outpost. Whereas in Neolithic only costs 20. So you do save yourself a couple of turns of influence if you get that second outpost built in the Neolithic. Alright, we've got the Harappans. Let's move a couple of dudes back so these guys can get some healing. This is quite a close together, it's a normal size map. So we are very, very close to all of the AI. Which is fine, because, you know, we can... Well, Assyrians are aggressive. Might as well live up to our name. Just murder some of our close neighbours. Right, you guys heal up. Right, let's go for calendar next. And hopefully we can go up to our... I might quickly just work on food so we can get up to that 8 population, as I said, to try and get that civic to fire. I think that would be quite important. So we're just going to wait for that. Let's, in the meantime... Can't buy out the horses, but we can start working on them. It's very, very important we work on those. get those hooked up so we can start getting Assyrian raiders as soon as possible. Because that is crucial to get to Assyrian raiders as the Assyrians. It is like it's your main advantage is being able to get those as quickly as you can. Right, so now we're up to 8 population total, and now we got our civics fire off. So legitimacy, create outpost cost, and 5 influence on main plaza. So yeah, you always want to try to get to 8 population. I want to show that off for people. Again, I will probably end up making another video for the Neolithic to show off how it's changed with some of the patches. Let's get Danu up there. It's quite a nice spot there. Helps protect that passage there. Makes it a bit awkward to move around. And then we're just going to attach it straight away to the capital. Get a lot of extra industry there. It's very, very nice. And we can put you back to, say, do I want you on science? I'll get calendar, but I kind of want people on industry. I need to start popping out Assyrian raiders. You want to get a stack of 4 Assyrian raiders as quickly as you can. Very, very important to try and get 4 Assyrian raiders. They're going to be a massive help to just bullying your neighbours and just generally doing what Assyria is good at, which is, yeah, bullying your neighbours, making sure that they're all on the back foot and you're having a good time. And again, you don't need to set up additional cities as the Assyrians. Focus on just murdering your neighbours, really. Again, with all militarist civs, you want to be doing this. Now, particularly, this is a particularly important civic. I think you get it when you build your first real unit. I'm not 100% sure on that, but normally I love the industry cost reduction, but the extra influence is super relevant early on. And since the Assyrians can build Danu in their outposts, once you attach the outposts that aren't attached, this won't affect those Danu, but the Liberty scale is going to give you 2 extra influence on your emblematic district. And the +1 combat strength does help the Assyrian raiders match up to your neighbours a little bit better. So ideally, you do want to be using the Assyrian raiders to raid, but more generally, just keeping them out on the board, ransacking outposts, keeping scouts away from your borders, setting up new outposts, all these things. You want to try and get a stack of 4 of these guys to be doing that as soon as you can. Right, turns out we actually have loads of saffron, which is really cool. Big fan of that. It's a very, very good resource to get access to early on. Do not like that outpost being there, so that's going to have to get ransacked. Okay, they want to take this fight. Again, mostly tribes. That's what I mean by this mod that I've got. It is very cool, but I don't think the AI handles it in the Neolithic very well, is the only issue. It doesn't matter if we lose fights there, it's just to push the AI around. Because the scout just goes and sits in my territory anyway, so... but people will happily take fights with your scouts, at least on Humankind difficulty. The AI still likes to do that. And, you know, a stack of 4 scouts is going to win every fight they go into. This is a fine place to set up. Sure, why not? It's absolutely perfectly acceptable. You'll see the Assyrian raiders do what they do best, which is just murder people's scouts. Now, on the highest difficulty, Assyrian raiders don't really cut it against Humankind difficulty warriors. They're okay, they'll do the trick, but they're not ideal. I think a lot of people think that the Assyrian raiders are, you know, like they are much stronger than standard scout cavalry, but they're not strong enough to casually just waltz through stacks of, say, archers and stuff. That's not really what they're for. Mostly just for bullying scouts. And even then, like, the Harappans might give you some trouble with that. Might being the key word. Normally not. Again, build your districts, harbours, emblematic districts off of outposts first, because it costs less influence if you build them initially and then you build the resource deposits. Resource deposits don't scale, emblematic districts do. So we try and do that first. We can get our builder styles really quickly. You can do this as pretty much any culture. All you got to do is just hook up those Luxes whenever you build outposts. And you will have a great time. It's going to be very, very quick to get that set up. I don't like the Harappans being here. Alright, we'll try flank them. It shouldn't be too bad. They're going to take that attack, that's fine by me. Alright, we'll win that next turn. You guys are just going to bully them. Alright, you scouts are going to disband because I need Assyrian riders. I don't need scouts anymore. And if you can pop them out with gold, do that. Every turn you can save on getting more troops out, the better. It really does, it does add up. After getting your basic techs, like, generally you want rush domestication, get horses hooked up. Then it's sort of carpentry, calendar, get luxes, and then you kind of want to just go straight for organized warfare. That's generally what I do on Humankind. It applies to pretty much every culture that I play, but especially you want to go for that domestication first. That's going to give you a big boost as the Assyrians. Right, you carry on ransacking that. You guys can move over to the Danu, build another raider in there. Just have you guys go to the south, just do a little bit of scouting. Okay, it doesn't look like there's much to worry about over there. You guys can go link up with them, actually. We'll go towards Liberty, because Liberty is going to boost the production of the Danus. And again, you can get your second city. Don't have to build it with influence. Don't worry about doing that. You can just go conquer your neighbours for that initial influence boost there. Oh, I lost 2 scouts in that war resolve. Against a tribe. Sometimes the game really tries to make it difficult for you. That's fine, we're doing okay, so we don't mind if the game decides to be a little bit difficult. And once you've got 4 Assyrian raiders, feel free to just start rampaging, burning people's outposts at will, stealing people's outposts as well. That's another thing to note, is you can happily steal people's outposts using your expansion ability once you've got a little bit more gold. But it is best to get a little bit of gold saved up. And if you've got good luxes, that's normally not too hard to do. There's actually some neutrals down here. We can probably go and invade them with the raiders. Get these scouts disbanded. Can start building another raider. Can actually just buy it out immediately and start working on another one. And yeah, just try to expand our military numbers as quickly as possible. That's going to give us the most control over the game. It's just increasing our military capacity. Don't worry too much about the AI maybe giving you a little bit of hassle. They're gonna decide to declare war on you sooner or later anyway. Now, the one place the Assyrians do kind of struggle is sieges. Obviously, Assyrian raiders are not exactly ideal for siege warfare because they are cavalry and they will get blocked in most situations that you have them out on the map. The way to deal with this is generally you don't want to be going for sieges a whole lot. Like, killing neutrals for their cities is fine. That's normally easy enough to do. You don't necessarily need to either. You can happily just sit on one city and do pretty decently with that. But you can just build like a couple of archers. Like literally just like one archer is enough to convince the defenders that they have to come out and fight you. So one archer will do the trick. Generally, you want a stack of 4 archers to be chasing your armies around, because 4 archers are going to do a real big number. Ooh, I actually got dowed. Interesting. Oh well, I guess I can show you some early warfare then as well. Now, as I said, the raiders are good, but on Humankind, they don't quite add up to other civs. Not quite. They do very well, but they're not perfect. So don't assume the Assyrian raiders automatically beat all other civs, especially once other civs start getting archers and spearmen, particularly spearmen. But on Humankind, you know, the raiders aren't going to beat warriors like handily. They'll beat them, but not like it's not like a free win. And against, say, spearmen, they lose. Against like Promarchoi or other unique units from the ancient era, you're not going to do as well either. So you do have to be a bit careful if you go up against, for example, the Mycenaeans. We're actually at war with the Nubians, and the Nubian archers don't do that great against the raiders out in the field, but they do very well against the raiders if they get to sit behind city walls. So we do have to be careful what fights we take with them. I would very much like to kill this stack of 4 tribes. That would be cool. They're actually sitting on my Danu, which is kind of annoying. That's fine though. We'll still beat them. They decided not to go on the flag, which is a bit weird. Alright, well we pushed them off and I didn't take too much damage, that's fine. That's all I was really after. Alright, we do need to go after the Nubians though. There's our next builder star, thank you very much. Get those resources hooked up. I need to get that Danu hooked up in Electra. We do have a very good spot for it down here. Very nice defensive location. So you can make your area very hard to attack initially just by building a few Danu here and there. Spending your early gold to heal up your raiders, good idea. Recommend that as much as possible. We've got this archer who can come down and join those raiders there. Do we want to take this fight? I mean, I do. You're ransacking my Danu, that can wait. We've got 2 Tarseti archers, a scout, and a warrior. That's a pretty easy fight for us to take. Honestly, their archers are probably going to go up on this hillside. There's one of them. And they've got 1 archer out in the open here. So we're just going to go and surround that archer. And just focus on killing them one at a time. Right, and then we can just start attacking this archer. Now, the archer's obviously our main concern, because they're going to cause the most damage, especially from this high ground here. So as long as we knock the archer out, this is going to be a pretty easy fight for us. Right, I can take a swing at these scouts. There we go. And we're going to lose 1 raider. That's okay. Not a huge loss there. Move those guys there, move these guys here. Take a good swing there. And no risk. Get some XP on that raider as well. So we lost 1 raider, we killed 4 units, which is a great trade. You do need to be fairly efficient with your troops early on in the game, or in the early stages of the game, because the AI is going to have a significant strength advantage over your own units. So do be careful about that. There we go. And easy win there. Right, those tribes are dead as well. There's our militarist stars. You can get your militarist stars super fast as the Assyrians, so if there's 1 star you can always guarantee you're going to have plenty of, it's military. It is your military stars. If you've got good resources, you'll get plenty of gold as well, which we've got decent resources. These are actually saffron. I need to get a farmer's district set up, like here. So a very high amount of extra food. Another 4 tribes have appeared. Now those 4 tribes are going to keep appearing. They will keep appearing. Let's get you guys to just take a turn to heal up. We're going to ignore those tribes there. They're not causing us any hassle, really. So we'll just let them just sit there doing their thing. Now, as you can see, as I said, I have a mod that increased the number of stars required. It's turn 35. We already have 7 stars, mostly from military. Got gold military, got a science star. Got some builder stars. Again, building those Danu and the resource deposits, it really speeds up how fast you can expand. I'm pretty close to getting my next builder star, actually. I should be able to get that in just a couple of turns here. And we can work on our mill star. Hey, 2 enemy archers. Archers get one shot by Assyrian raiders. All you got to do is ride them round like so, and it's just easy win. There we go. And those guys will heal up in 1 turn, so no need to spend cash on that. And we can always take Kerma as part of this war, as long as we can siege it. I just need to make sure I have a couple more archers to make sure that the siege works very nicely. Let's go pop them out there, that's cool. Spend some gold. We've got our religion. Was that our last builder star? No, that was our merchant star. Okay, we'll build a star in 15. Okay. Got to do civic, slaves, don't worry about that too much. We'll take faith on main plaza. That got changed as well in the beta branch. I probably have to do a video on that, but for now. I normally don't care what I pick for slaves, but bonus pop per ransack can be pretty useful. And the homeland bonus gives you extra combat strength on units, which again, for a war like Civ, like the Assyrians, you want to have high combat strength on your troops. The earlier the better. Alright, you guys just chill for a turn, you guys chill for a turn. We'll just pop out another archer and then we should be good to go on Kerma. Okay, I'm not sure if we'll be able to catch out any more of their troops. We might be able to catch out a few scout riders or something. Okay, looks like we're being engaged on there. We're going to retreat that, because 2 archers, who's this? An enemy scout rider. Okay, well we're in fortifications, so that's fine. Just do some damage on them, that's fine. The archers will retreat, but we're not too fussed about that. These guys are on retreat, so they can't aid in any further fights, but it's fine, we get a win there. Lost a bit of war support, but we'll get it back, and it keeps them in the war longer, which isn't actually a bad thing either, because that's going to let us get our armies together and ready to move on Kerma. I do need like a combined front to do that. Right, 2 warriors, 2 Tarseti archers. Again, we'll retreat that again. I've almost got organised warfare, and as long as I've got organised warfare, this goes a lot better for us. Let's get another archer out, again for the siege. You guys are retreating, that's fine. Now that I have organised warfare, I can start taking fights with them. Right, new tech. We'll just go for irrigation, move fishing, masonry, wheel writing. That's normally the sort of deal I go for. Get another outpost hooked up. We'll hook up our inland outposts so I can get harbours in the coastal ones. That actually gave me more pop to work with, so we'll get a couple more archers. Since we've got this early war going on, it's better to go all in on your early wars rather than, like, you know, just kind of, you don't want to half-ass those early wars. You want to get as much out of them as you can, as quick as you can. Right, let's see what they do here. They've got 2 archers and 2 warriors. Warriors don't do exceptionally well against Assyrian raiders. They'll do okay, but I can just pull that one back, and now we've got an excellent spot to attack the archers from. I've got three archers up here on the high ground. Just take shots at their warriors, because they're the warriors are the ones that will actually damage my archers. And we'll pick that warrior off there. Go for this Tarseti archer here. It's completely out of position. And because these are light cavalry units, they can ignore ZOC, so you can basically always get a flank with the Assyrian raiders. And until you come up against, again, spearmen, Promakoi, that kind of deal, you're never going to have any troubles fighting with the Assyrian raiders. And as long as you've got a couple archers for backup, as I'm showing here, a couple archers for backup, and you can pretty much one-shot anything with a flank. There you go, easy peasy. But yeah, just rush for organised warfare, get in an early war, and start beating your enemies up. Start giving them a little kick. See how they like that. They won't like that at all, but that's okay. We're not here to make friends, we're here to take land. Take names. So they brought another stack in. They've got another stack. Oh, they've got spearmen now. Okay, now this is where the archers are exceptionally important. So without the archers, we're going to have a very rough time. So we're going to start a battle here. The Assyrian raiders are going to have a bit of a rough time. We're going to leave the flag open and see what these spearmen do. Yeah, we're going to take some nasty hits there, but we can pull out the wounded cavalry. Our own raiders are only interested in going for the archers. And then we've got our archers here. Didn't I have another archer? Am I going mad? Or did I... Oh, I moved an archer here. Whoopsie daisy, I thought that was a raider. Well, he does the same trick, I suppose. Now they have to go for my flag, really. We'll just start shooting at those. So a bit of a missed movement there, but we'll be fine, probably. These guys are probably going to die, but you never know. Okay, well, we lost that group instead, that's fine. You're going to take casualties, it's war. It's just how it is. And I can bring these guys in for a flank attack. Since I'm gonna lose some troops regardless, the best thing to do is just try and mitigate damage. Just having as many troops just join into the fray as possible. Damn, can't quite get the kill on those Tarseti archers, so they're probably going to get a kill on my units. See if they go for the flag. They do go for the flag, very nice. And they also shoot these archers, which means we can now finish them off. We've taken plenty of damage, but that's okay. I have some gold to heal my units up, so next turn we'll do a little bit of healing and see if we can't... See if we can't get more troops up to fighting strength. You want non-aggression? Sure, you can have non-aggression, that's fine. They don't want to trade though, that's alright. So we're aiming for 2k points. 2k points is normally the amount of points I aim for before I age up. I recommend you do the same. Looks like one enemy scout decided to join this fight. Might lose an archer here. No, not quite. Scout cavalry aren't quite tough enough by themselves. There we go. Now, Kerma's only got one defender. I don't think they have the ability to reinforce. So all I need to do is go and siege this. They're coming out to fight us. That's fine. I'll just go sit on the flag. See what these leve come to do. And they don't even want to fight, really. That's too bad for them, isn't it? And those leve are dead. Kerma's ours. And that war is over. We can take Kerma for ourselves. Alright, how long have we got till they... Yeah, they're pretty much out of war support already. Grab Cultural Blessing. I do like to take the stability. That helps early on more than later. So yeah, the Nubians are now burning war support every turn. If I could just take like one more fight with them. Let's move the archers into this stack. Move the archers up as far as we can. And then see if we can't finish this war a turn early. I don't think they've got organised warfare. If you rush for organised warfare, you can normally get it before the AI, which means you can take very nice fights like this, and then they're going to have to retreat those battles, and they have no war support now. So that's an easy win for us. Just pick women, doesn't really matter. And now we can peace out. Give me Kerma, give me Parava for surrender. Right, there's our second city. Kerma can now attach. Are we close to getting fishing? 5 turns. Okay. We won't attach anywhere just yet. Let's get those archers hooked up. Got a stack of 4 archers. Got all of our scout cavalry, or Assyrian raiders. Should say Assyrian raiders because they're not scouts at all. We stole some gold from them. We used that to build up some of our districts. Kerma itself can build some Danu, which would be cool. They give extra influence, and influence is always good. I would like to build probably another Danu over here is pretty nice. So we'll get started on those. Get our first holy site as well. I don't really need one in the capital right now, but I will eventually. So we'll go plop that down there and just build that a little bit later. Let's move you guys over there, move you guys into Kerma. You guys are going to just chill. Alright, and there we go. We can also get ourselves a wonder. Nice. All that extra influence for it coming in very, very handy. Hanging gardens on Saffron wouldn't be a bad idea, but I do like the pyramids, so we'll just go claim that. So we've got ourselves the pyramids. It's turn 47. I normally get about turn 50 when I have about 2k points. It's a bit harder with an expansionist civ, like the Assyrians. Because you have to get expansion styles. I find are a little bit tough to grab. Sure, we can go for professional soldiers now. That's absolutely okay. We're going to try and get fishing, build a couple of harbours for free in spots where they're good. I think I can get a good one down here in Ansha. So we'll try go for that. There you go, there's fishing researched. Electra, can you get a good one? 5 is not that great, so I won't bother with that. We'll just get Kerma to attach that in a couple of turns. 8 plus 2 science is quite good. And there's our builder star. Okay, and we'll get our expansion star. It hasn't actually recalculated my expansion stars after capturing Kerma. You do have to attach an outpost to do that. It's a bit annoying. It's not like a big deal, but it's a little bit annoying to have to do that, but that's okay. We don't worry about it too much. It's a very minor sort of bug. At least it's one I don't concern myself with a great deal. Okay, so we're up to about 2k points, turn 50. That's generally what I go for. And, you know, it's not that difficult to play the Assyrians. I don't think they're a spiked or really pushed Ancient Era Civ, but they're decent. The extra movement does help all game. The ransack is mostly useful in the early game to cut a turn off of knocking people's outposts down. The Assyrian Raiders do a stand-up job against pretty much everything but Promarchoi and actual spearman units. But even then, if you get enough of them, and generally you want a stack of, say, 4 raiders, 4 archers, and you can do a pretty decent job against most civs, even on Humankind difficulty, as I'm showing here. It's not too bad. We won't age up just yet. I want to show you that we actually... Oh, it's actually updated our expansion stars as well now. Just took a few turns to do that. If I attached Ansha and Electra as well, that would give me my silver expansion star. We could go to war with someone else again to try and get another expansion star, but you get the idea. We're up to 2k points. I can chill a little bit longer if I want to get my science stars. I generally recommend that you go for the gold science star in each era, because you want, if you age up and you don't have the science from the previous era, it's not as relevant. You know, it doesn't matter as much aging up. So go for those gold science stars. But yeah, turn 50. As I said, even with the mod that you need more stars to age up. Again, link to that in the description if you guys are interested. It's not that hard to install, but yeah, even with the mod where you need more stars to age up, I don't think, like, we still have the same amount of points that I would normally aim for this turn. And we did pick the Assyrians early. The Assyrians are a civ I, generally speaking, think that you should pick them early, because the faster you get out those horsemen, and every turn counts, the faster you get the Assyrian raiders out, the better. You're going to struggle a little bit if you wait 15, 20 turns, come out Neolithic. Yes, you'll have a great population count, but you're still fighting people with scouts, and by the time you get raiders, it's not going to matter half as much. They'll get countered by the AI starting to get spearmen and things. Right, okay guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. I know it's a little bit longer. I try to keep these about 30 minutes, but 40 minutes is fine. It's been me, Chaff Command Coffee. Feel free to leave any comments that you want. Like I said, there's a link to the mod that I've been playing with in the description. There is a link to my Twitch in there as well if you want to check out some live gameplay. But feel free to leave comments. I'll get back to you when I can. Any questions, whatever you've got, send it my way. Until then, guys, take it easy. Have a good one. I'll see you all around. Goodbye for now.